Well, hello there. It's good to see all my children gathered together to worship. I am Father Abraham, and this is my wife Sarah.
Hi.
My wife Sarah is a woman of few words.
That's what happens when you marry a man of many.
Well, we have been asked to tell you today a story about our great journey of faith. Most about the times it took a wrong turn or two. It's a kind of funny story, actually.
Nothing funny about it as far as I can tell.
You see, friends, Sarah and I came from a distant land called Haran. One night, there in Haran, God came to me in a dream. And the next morning, the funniest thing happened. I got up and I told Sarah we were moving 1,000 miles across the desert to a land called Canaan.
Funny thing, and yet I did not laugh. Not even once.
You see, God promised me that land and a huge family to populate it. But the funniest thing, when we got there, it was already full of people, and they were not anxious to leave.
And yet, Sarah did not laugh.
An even funnier thing, the land had a famine, and it was so bad we had to leave almost as soon as we got there. Remember that, Sarah?
Crystal clear, Abe.
We went down to Egypt, and I got to thinking, what if the Egyptians saw my wife and just killed me to take her for their own? She was a looker back then, weren't you, dear?
Still am. It must be the absence of the laugh lines.
So I came up with this plan, just right, in retrospect, I think. I pretended to be Sarah's brother. I mean, could you imagine? And let the Pharaoh take her as his wife for a handsome price. And just like you expected, it ended in disaster.
And I still fail to see what's so funny about it.
And believe it or not, I didn't learn my lesson at all. It happened again, not with the Pharaoh, but the local king of Abinik.
Trust me when I tell you that the sequel was even less funny than the original.
And then, we try to have these children God promised, and we can't. And the years go by, and nothing. And from time to time, God shows up, right on our doorstep, and he promises again and again, your descendants will be as numerous as the stars in the nighttime sky. He says, God promises you will have as many children as the grains of sand on the seashore. What irony, because we have no children, and we're getting pretty old by then.
And with every passing year, the whole business of following this guy, God, who only appeared to Abraham in weird dreams and visions, just even seemed to get any more funny.
Can you believe it? We even tried surrogacy, if it's fair to call it that.
It's not.
I had a child with Sarah's servant girl, Hagar. We didn't think we were going to be able to have anyone otherwise.
By far the least amusing thing to happen in a long, frustrating, and funny tale.
But then, years later, when I was 99 and Sarah turned 29 50 times in a row,
Please just wrap this up.
that day in a place called Memron, 3 angels came to us to tell us good news. We were finally going to have a baby.
And do you know what I heard what they had to say, and I laughed in their face. I'm about to turn 80, and now we have a child. What's the holdup?
But sure enough, in due session, our son was born. He was named Isaac. Do you know what Isaac means in Hebrew? Tell them, Sarah.
Isaac means laughter. Having that kid at 80, I've got to admit, God, that was pretty funny.
Well, children of God, that's our story, full of twists and turns. Yet, whenever we made a wrong turn, God somehow managed to put us back on track.
And we had my precious Isaac. Not because we were faithful to God's promise, we messed up that royal. It was because in God's time, God was really faithful to us. I'll go with that.
Hey, Sarah, did I ever tell you that joke I heard from Lot about the Canaanite, the Egyptian, and the Palestine?
Honestly, Abraham, we need to work on the concept of comedy a little more.